Friday, May 29th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host for today, Jay Cooper, alongside my producer for the next hour and a bit, Mike Bennett, working his way behind the boards. We got a stacked show for you today, and I mean stacked. 4 great guests. Going to cover all the things heading into the weekend. Excited to get into this. And guess what? We got some tennis picks as well, courtesy of Isaac, who's on an absolute heater. He's on a heater. We'll get all of that, into all that and more in just a second. Quickly, just let's break down what we got going for today. Rob, batting lead off, talking some NHL playoffs. He's going to talk to me about his affinity, his love, his closeted fandom of the Carolina Hurricanes. He absolutely loves this team. He's all over them. I want to go head-to-head against him. If Carolina wins, makes it to the Stanley Cup Finals, I want to get a head-to-head going with him and myself. Carolina versus the Golden Knights. Maybe we can find some stakes, put them in the chat. We can figure out like what the loser has to do there in Carolina versus Vegas if we do end up getting that Stanley Cup playoff or Stanley Cup final matchup. After that, we got Drunken Goon coming on. Big Champions League match. It's the finals. I don't know if you heard. PSG, Arsenal, and I got to ask Goon right off the bat. Arsenal might be getting disrespected. We've talked about this matchup for a couple weeks now because it's been finalized for a couple weeks. DeBundo mentioned it. Goon mentioned it as well. They're like, if Arsenal hits that plus 130 range, I'm going to be asking myself some questions. I love PSG, but I'm going to be asking myself some questions. They're currently plus 128. It's been moving out towards PSG the entire time that these odds have been up. And it might be time to get in on Arsenal. We'll see. After that, we got Kirk coming on for the usual NBA, WNBA. He'll talk us through all that good stuff. Western Conference Final, Game 7, break it down. And then finally, we close out the show. GStack George. UFL discussion last week in the UFL. Going to get ready for the playoffs. Maybe we can find some value on the futures board. Before we get into that, though, I want to apologize to everyone for Isaac's performance. Isaac's been incredible on the show so far, but Isaac gave out a bet yesterday. He said Kwame, good to any price, and there was plus 260 out there. Well, now Kwame's plus 460 at FanDuel. Isaac says that is a big bomb banger. Best price in market available on FanDuel. So if you haven't already bet it, go bet it on FanDuel. But if you have bet anything less than plus 350, Isaac told me to tell you, if Kwame wins, message him. He will give you $100 just for the difference in price that you have there. He'll give you an extra $100 if Kwame does win because he feels bad for giving out that number. Listen, I love Isaac. He's a great addition to the show. Also, okay, wait, quickly, only if he wins. Only if Kwame wins, because price is important, but if he loses, it doesn't really affect things. Anyways, that's his stipulations. That's what he said to me. Love Isaac. It's good to know that he's going to be on this show for a very long time. He's not going to leave us like Flup and work for the other side of the counter because he has some awful openers. But yes, he gave out plus 260-ish, I think. So if you have plus 350 or less, if you have that bet, send it to Isaac. Also, we got 2 big bomb bangers coming in. Isaac's messaging me live right now. We're going to add this to the Butler list, add this to the bet slip. Zachary Svajda, plus 340, set 1 winner versus Francisco Cerundolo. Not the Cerundolo that beat Sinner, but his brother. So we're going to take Zachary Svajda, probably pronouncing that wrong, plus 340, set 1 winner. Let's get that on screen just to remind the people, or you can get it in the chat, Mike. Either or is good. We're also going to add, for the record, Moise Kwame, plus 245, set 1 winner. We're adding that as well. This, to me, looks like chasing from Isaac. We said he wouldn't chase, but I don't know. I don't make the rules, apparently. Moretto does. Anyways, yeah. I covered everything that Isaac sent to me. Let's get into a great show for today. Before we do that, quickly, want to talk to you guys about our friends over at FanDuel. Every swing has a chance to change everything, and with FanDuel, it can change it for everyone. And introducing the home run jackpot. Pick a player to hit a home run. If they go yard, you can split a share of $1 million in bonus bets. That's right, one swing, one crack of the bat, and you're in on a shot at a share of $1 million. So whether you're backing a slugger you trust, or taking a shot on a long ball hero, every at-bat just got a whole lot more interesting. Don't miss your shot at home run jackpot. Head over to FanDuel.com/forwardprogress and use your token to get started. FanDuel, your home for home runs. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas affiliates, Kansas Star Casino, 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in require must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct pick. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit FanDuel.com/RG. I'm missing the ad read here. Give me 1 sec, guys. Sorry. This is a slip up on my part. Max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Call 1-800-MyReset. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/Chad in Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-227-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 1-877-770-7867 in Louisiana. All right. Sorry about that. Just realized I didn't have the disclaimer written down in front of me on the ad read there. My apologies. Had to read it off the prompter there. All good, though. We bounce back. All right. Our first guest, the CEO of the Hammer Betting Network. He's a closeted Carolina fan. Rob, how's it going?
It's going okay. I think you've missed some fake news there. I'm not a closet Carolina fan.
You're out in the open.
I'm rooting for Carolina to win the cup. I like their GM quite a bit, Eric Tulsky. Back in the day, I want to say like 3 to 5 years ago when he was an assistant GM, he would DM me on Twitter every now and then. I think every week, asking me for my probabilities on the Hurricanes to win the division, to win the cup. Very analytical guy. So, I'm really like sick and tired of the analytics talk in sports, because like all teams are using analytics in some capacity, but I'd really like to see a team that is heavily driven by analytics win a major championship in the NHL. So I'm rooting for the Carolina Hurricanes here.
All right, you're rooting for the Carolina Hurricanes. I still think you're a closet fan. Whatever you say, if we didn't even have the Leafs in your heart, I think Carolina would be a close second.
That's a really good thought exercise of like, if you didn't like your favorite team, who would you pick? I would go Western Conference. I wouldn't go East because I wouldn't want to, cheer for a team in close proximity to Toronto and not Toronto. You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
I think I'd be a Calgary Flames fan.
That's like so random though. Like you said, like I would rather cheer for like Buffalo than cheer for Calgary, because it's like, I think it's the Canada thing maybe.
I've always been drawn to the Red Flames jerseys.
Okay, that's fair.
I like the get up, man.
They got good gitch, as the kids say. They got good gitch.
I never heard that.
Though that's just the youngin phrase.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. You're a Calgary fan at heart. You must have loved Iginla, I guess, in your late teens. That was a great player.
I love Jerome Iginla.
One of the best.
One of my favorites. Absolute beauty. Set up Crosby for that game winner, 2010. Whew.
All right, let's get into today's show. Do you even want to talk about the game? Is there anything to talk about in the game tonight? We know where you stand when it comes with Carolina versus Montreal. Do you think there's going to be like a dead cat bounce here? Carolina currently minus 245 on the money line. Do you maybe see any value on the total here at 5.5? Anything for this game at all? Like, I don't blame you if you just want to say pass. Let's move on. We know Carolina's going to win. Let's talk about the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, like it's really, really rare that I would come here and say it's the favorite or nothing, because typically in these types of spots, everyone considers Montreal kind of dead at this point. They lose 2 straight home games. They're going out on the road. The price has been adjusted quite significantly from what we saw game 1 and game 2 for Carolina. But I think I tweeted about this after game 2, might have been after game 3, but the amount of games that the Habs have played in like a 40-day window versus Carolina, they're just dog tired. Like they're already up against it. Montreal is worse than Carolina. Carolina's going to dominate puck possession. It's like a foregone conclusion. But the 2 overtime games in game 2 and 3 didn't help. And Montreal just looks completely gassed at this point. And it's not like they got an extra day off here as well for the travel. It's just the 1 day in between. So, it's Hurricanes or nothing. And I'm kind of borderline on my price. I'm like at Carolina minus 245 is fair. And if people don't want to lay 240, that's totally fine. But, the alts are worth a decent shot here as well because you get the early goalie pull in these types of games. So, yeah, I don't give Montreal a huge chance tonight, Jason.
Yeah, no, I think I'm in the same boat here. For me, if it's Carolina, like you said, look towards the alts. Hope you can get that early goalie pull. -1.5 right now, +110 on FanDuel. You can look 2.5, 3.5. Maybe you'll get a little lucky. The only way for Montreal to win this game is like Dovish to channel the ghost of Montreal Canadian goalies past and just become just an absolute beast.
It can happen. That's hockey. The best team doesn't always win the game, and Dovish has stole a few games in these playoffs, including the Game 7 against Tampa, against Buffalo as well. I think they got outplayed in that clinching game. But, it can happen. It can. But at this point, Montreal's got to rattle off 3 straight. The rest is just getting more disadvantageous the longer this series goes. I think Carolina's going to wrap it tonight.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm in the same boat here. Let's move on and just talk about the Stanley Cup Finals, which is what we'll likely get. At one point, we saw Carolina, I think it was yesterday, they were -130 to win the Stanley Cup. Vegas was +140. So if you really didn't have a belief in this Montreal Canadiens team, you were probably clicking. Listen, one of those prices were wrong, whichever side you were falling on here. How do you like the matchup of Carolina versus Vegas right now? If you look at the look ahead to the hypotheticals, Carolina -166, Vegas +138. Why do you? I know you like Carolina in this matchup. What stylistically about them do you like in this matchup against Vegas? Why do you think they have the edge here?
So we got to separate who I think is going to win from where the betting value lies. All right. So I do think Carolina will win the Stanley Cup if they're playing Vegas more often than not. Going into the playoffs, and I just ran this morning. Pricing Carolina, Vegas, I would have made Carolina 57.6% with home ice. So that's a fair value of -136. -136 on the Stanley Cup Finals between Vegas and Carolina. At current market prices, it'd be slightly Vegas leaning. You also have to take into account what's happened in the playoffs here. My only argument, everyone's like, well, Vegas just beat Colorado, best team in the league, 4 straight. You have to upgrade them a lot. And you do, but I also would say Carolina got upgraded in these playoffs for me. I personally still believe in my heart of hearts that if Ottawa got by Carolina, they would have went on a run to the Cup here. I think Ottawa is better than Montreal. I think Carolina beat a very good Ottawa team in 4 straight in the first round. The Flyers, okay, throw that out the window. This Montreal team, I don't think they're all that great either. So maybe, a little bit of an easier schedule on their way to the Cup. But ultimately, I think probably the fair line is probably somewhere in the -135 range for the Cup. And I'm just rooting for Carolina because we got good prices. I think I was in the chat on Hammer Daily when they went down 1-0, Jay.
Yes. Yeah.
The next day. And I'm just like, you got to buy up Carolina Cup prices now. I think they were +210 at that point. So I just did that because I thought that the route with Montreal was going to be an easy path. And we got lucky that Colorado got swept as well, because that was still a possibility that they would be playing in the Cup. So I'm rooting for those. But if you got nothing invested, there's a decent chance that I would say that Vegas is probably the value play for the Cup.
All right. Sounds good. I agree with you. Vegas is the right side there. But you think you truly at your heart of hearts believe Carolina's going to win, though?
I think Carolina is an amazing team. I think they're going to I think Vegas has played well. But you got to you can't just remember what we saw recently. I'm in a high roller hockey pool. All right, I watch a lot of Vegas in the first and second round because I picked them to win those series in that pool, and it's sort of a confidence weighting. Anyways, complicated. Whatever. But Vegas, Utah, Vegas, Anaheim, those were pretty even series. Here we go. They were pretty even.
Twice, by the way.
Pretty even series. I caught myself that time. Pretty even. They played really well against Colorado. You got to give them that. But, I mean, I just don't think Vegas is all that good. They're solid team, not elite. And I think Carolina in the East this year, which was way tougher, the quality of competition that they played. I know everybody's reference. Oh, Vegas had whatever. Did they lead the league in expected goal?
They were second.
Okay.
Or third, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, top 3.
Now let's filter that by, but now let's adjust for schedule. And I think there's like this common feeling in hockey, well, like over 82 game season, like the schedules are going to kind of balance out. Well, they didn't. I mean, if you look at Vegas against playoff opponents this year, their expected goal share was 51%. It was barely above 50. They basically played coin flip games against playoff caliber opponents. Now, granted, William Karlsson was missing. I get that. They're getting better goaltending now from Carter Hart, but I would argue that like his true form is probably somewhere in between what we saw in the regular season and what we're seeing in the playoffs now. Like, they're good. They're not great, in my opinion. I think Carolina is a great team.
All right, I want to go head-to-head with you on this because I think Vegas is going to win, truly. But like, I feel like head-to-head straight up is kind of unfair for me.
Yeah, but you've been taking bad bets for years, so why stop now?
Okay, how about this? What if we do something like Carolina versus Vegas? Like, you get Carolina, I get Vegas. But if Carolina wins in Game 7, it's a push. So I get like the +1 instead of the +1.5 or the -1. Like +1, I feel like is the fair in between. No, because if we look at the series spread,
okay,
it's like the perfect midpoint. If we take the current series odds on FanDuel and then look at the series spread, that one is the perfect midpoint.
The modal outcome. Do you know what the modal outcome is?
No, but I know the mean outcome doesn't make me happy because I don't like when people are mean to me.
The modal outcome is the one is gonna happen the most often. So if you play Carolina Vegas, the most often outcome, the modal outcome is Carolina in 7. So you're taking that away from me and making it a push. So what I said, my series price is what, 57.6%.
Yeah,
I have Carolina sweep, Carolina in 4 at 8%. So get rid of Carolina in 4 for me, and we got a deal. And then we got a true coin flip bet.
I hate that. All right, fine. I'll do it. What are we staking here? Loser goes to Jeff Nadeau's birthday party. Maybe winner should go to Jeff Nadeau's birthday party on the other person's dime. Maybe that's because like I don't.
It's nothing against Nadeau, but like I have only finite amount of travel I could do in a year, and I don't want to go to the birthday party.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to find an excuse to go. So
you want to go? We can send you. You got to work though. You got to document everything.
I'll document it. I'd love to document it. Okay, yeah, I like this one. I have to wear a Bo Jackson jersey for a week that I buy myself. What do we get?
I don't see, like, that's not a punishment.
What about you have to wear like an Eli Manning jersey?
Yeah, I don't want to do that. That's a real punishment. But like a Bo Jackson jersey is not a punishment for you. You would buy a Bo Jackson jersey and wear it.
No, like, I don't buy overrated players. I have I just got my Russell Wilson jerseys in the mail. I got my Aaron Rodgers jersey.
The guy was an all-pro in 2 different leagues, Jason. Do you know how hard it is to do that? 2 different professional sports leagues, and he was an all-star. Like, and that's back in the day when the NFL, like the Pro Bowl, meant something. It's not nowadays where fucking who was the backup for Snoop Huntley went to the Pro Bowl a couple.
Oh yeah, that was a crazy time.
Okay, we'll sort it out. I'm down for this bet, but like, yeah, listen, I don't want to wear an Eli jersey. That's probably a good one, but the Bo Jackson one for you is way too lenient.
Way too lenient. Alex is saying loser has to spend 24 hours in the office.
Straight.
24 straight? I mean, you could do that.
Yeah.
It would suck, but you could do that.
All right. Okay. So the bet is we'll figure out what the loser has to do, but officially, I have Vegas. You have Carolina. If Carolina wins in 4, push. Sorry. Yeah, in 4 games. Yeah, push.
Correct. Yeah, I truly believe that this is a coin flip bet. Right. According to I'm not trying to, like, Carolina in 7. Getting rid of that is a joke. We can't do that. It's the most likely outcome of the series. How can you? I'm not getting the most likely outcome where Carolina wins.
If Carolina wins in 7, I'm going to be pissed, but I'm allowing this to happen. Anyways, and Boston, the chat is saying, imagine how long the line would be if Jason went to Bet Bash and was at the dunk tank. I don't know if I'm going to go this year, if I'm being honest. We'll talk about it this after, but it's my birthday. It falls on my birthday weekend, so I'd like literally on my birthday, actually. So
yeah, and then just like from a corporate perspective, sending you there just like it's a minus for us because you get to interact with more people, and we don't want that to happen.
I think that's a good point. Anyways, Rob, appreciate you joining the show. All in on Vegas. Oh, quickly, Conn Smythe. I didn't get to this. Any last shout out for the Conn Smythe just before you head out here?
Okay, I believe Carolina is going to win the cup. Freddie Anderson right now, his numbers are solid, right? And he's the favorite from Carolina. But like, there's a lot of paths where Freddie Anderson doesn't win. Like, if you ask like the people voting on this right now, Anderson's kind of viewed as like the weak spot of the team, is he not? Like,
right.
Right.
I think he's live to lay a poop in his diaper at some point in the series.
I think that right now, even though there's the ice stuff, I think Carter Hart at 30-1 is a good bet for Conn Smythe. And I think there's a possibility where he could win it in a loss as well. Because Carolina does not have they have no, like, Taylor Hall, I guess, is at the top. Jackson Blake.
Taylor Hall, Logan St. Govan, Jackson Blake. That entire line is just like 800 to 10-1.
I just don't feel like it would be a pretty big stretch for one of those guys to win Conn Smythe. I have some bets on Aho and Jarvis just in case they go off in the finals. You know, I thought there was a chance against Montreal they might get it together, but I don't mind Carter Hart 30-1. Honestly, I think he's being discounted a lot because of the off the ice stuff, but his numbers are so good. I think Carolina is going to pepper him with shots in the Cup final. There's a decent chance he could win it even if they lose, in my opinion. I think the gap between Marner and Hart is very, very wide right now. So that would be I think a decent dart at this point.
I can see it. I just, again, you have to, it all depends on who. I don't know if we're ever going to find out who's going to vote on this, but if you just look at last year's votes, you can almost count a couple where he won't get votes and that might hurt him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I listen. At this point, I look at the top of the board. Marner plus 175. They're going to be underdogs in the finals, right?
Yeah.
Freddie Anderson plus 290. Then there's a large gap to Taylor Hall, and I think that there's got to be value deeper down the board somewhere. There just has to be.
I think I found the value yesterday. Slavin, first player to receive the cup handoff, plus 340. That's the value. Anyways,
I like that.
There we go. Appreciate you for joining us today, Rob. You can follow Rob on Twitter at Rob Pizzola. Make sure you're on Twitter later today to let us know what the punishment should be for the loser. Rob, appreciate you for joining the show. We'll chat soon.
Yeah, make sure you're also on Twitter to let Jason know how to do an ad read as well.
There we go. I knew that was coming. All right, appreciate it. Talk soon. Great stuff there. Listen, that's on me, but I prepped the ad read. I read it over, but I forgot to get to the part where there was the disclaimer and it was just empty. I was like, shit, they didn't include the disclaimer with us. What's going on here? Oh, man. It is what it is. That probably won't happen again. I wonder if I'm just not supposed to read the disclaimer for that one. Maybe that's what it is and just move on. Anyways, we're going to bring on Goon in just a second here. But before that, we got to Hit the Books coming out today. New Hit the Books video dropping 5 p.m. Eastern Time on the Hit the Books YouTube channel. You're going to want to check it out. They've been absolutely smashing it with their off-season content. If you love college football, if you love talking about college football, if you're a sicko like me and want to listen to it in mid-summer Friday, May 29th, you're all you're thinking about is what's going to happen week 0, week 1 college football. It's a place to be. Go check it out. Hit the Books YouTube channel. Brad Powers, Joey Kanish, absolutely crushing it. More Powers than Kanish, but we'll give Kanish a little bit there. All right. Kept him waiting a little too long here. Sorry, Goon, but he's our second guest, football handicapper. He's getting prepared for his North American World Cup tour, which we're excited to see and excited for him. Goon, how's it going?
Pretty good.
I love the shirt. You're getting ready for tonight. World Cup, Canadian World Cup team is going to be announced later today. Before we get into the World Cup, though, before we talk any of that, we've got a big match coming up this weekend.
Only one this week. Champions League. Arsenal, PSG. Like I said, we've been banging that PSG drum all dang year. And as it turns out, the markets absolutely love PSG. I believe it opened up around the minus 130 range. It's now minus 158 or 152 for PSG. Is Arsenal getting a little disrespected here in terms of this odds movement? Obviously, you don't want to say the market is incorrect, but we've just seen it drift out as the days have gone on, as limits have increased, as we get closer to kickoff. Arsenal plus 128 right now. Is this like too much disrespect? Didn't we say the same thing at minus 120 plus 120 last week?
Yes, yeah. Like at what point does it stop?
Yeah, it's one of those markets where there's a lot of money, but big bets will actually influence the market a little bit. It's kind of like the Super Bowl, right? Squares versus sharps. The market will take whatever you want to bet. So
it's going to go where the money goes.
Yeah, well, I just opened up the sports book. I had my notes written down because I like to prepare for the show, obviously. They're Arsenal plus 114 now. So someone's obviously out there saying, wow, this is like a little bit too much disrespect for Arsenal. So we've seen it slapped all the way back. Pretty crazy stuff here. Anyways, let's get into the match itself. I want you to break down the strength and weaknesses of both sides. I know you like PSG in this match. Where do you think PSG has the edge here?
I think their press, their ability to switch positions. The players have played multiple positions, and when they set up their press with Dembele up top, they can switch the wingers and they can move around and pressure the opposition and still have enough defensive awareness not to get caught once that first line of defense breaks. So it's important for Arsenal to secure possession, find a way to get it to their wingers, and then go at PSG at speed.
All right. You got a couple bets for us here. None of them on the outright match itself because, again, we have all those PSG futures. Let's get into the first couple right now. PSG -0.5, -105 on corners over Arsenal at FanDuel.
Yeah, the speed element against Calafiori and Mosquera starting a right back for Arsenal. I think they will take the ball wide and then try to go at them, and they will get some opportunities. Also, PSG know that 30% of goals come from set plays, so they will not afford Arsenal as many corners as they usually get. They will try to stay away from giving them those opportunities. So I think that's a market that is worth taking a bet. FanDuel's best in market -105, -116 at Competing Pinnacle, and higher in other places. So that's a really good price to take PSG. It's on the freeway line, I believe. So -105. It's same as -0.5.
-105 is what we're looking at there for corners over Arsenal, PSG over Arsenal there. And you mentioned you have 5 plays for us here, all of them a corner unit because some of them are obviously correlated with each other. So if you're betting all this stuff, just make sure you're aware of that. You're going to want to bet a corner unit each. You have 2 bets on Calafiore, who you mentioned here, the Italian. And I asked you if is he the new Vinny Jones because you like him to get booked. Apparently not. It's just a tough matchup for him. Talk us through why you think Calafiore is going to get booked and what price you like there.
It's the speed. He's a good defender, but he does tend to jump in. And over 2+ fouls I was actually looking for 3+ fouls, but it's not offered at FanDuel, so I took the 2+ at -150, and also him to get booked at +200, which is also market best.
All right, Calafiore to get booked +200, 2+ fouls -150, and I guess that correlates with. Some correlates with you like the red card. Is that the yes +480?
Yeah, that's a really good price for a final. It's one of those games where frustrations and end of season could get to people if they're trailing. They will do anything to get even. So I think there's a good likelihood that we see a red card in this one.
Would you? So there's red card markets right now is a red card in the match +470 right now. I moved a little bit on FanDuel, but Arsenal to have a red card at +700, PSG to have one at +750. Do you think it's like? Do you like the Arsenal to have a red card at +700 just like a little bit more if people want to get like a little freaky and goal, or is that just not the number's just not good enough?
I guess you could do that. It's with red cards you just take it when it comes.
Fair enough.
I don't want to be that specific to be honest.
Yeah. All right. Last one you have here is both teams to score, and you have the no there at +105 on FanDuel.
So there's two scenarios for this game in my mind. Arsenal wins a low scoring game. Or PSG runs away with it. So if very small likelihood of Arsenal being able to get back in the game if they get behind, they just don't generate enough chances. So at +105, I think that's a good bet. I have it priced -115.
All right, +105. So yeah, it seems like you can go kind of 2 ways with how you see this game playing out here. You can maybe go with an alt over if you like PSG as like an analogous way to bet on PSG as like the 2 scenarios.
In total, better than the actual alt.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into. You want to do like a little bit of trivia before we get into the World Cup stuff?
Yeah. Before we talk about Canada, we gotta see how much of a fan you are. So
right.
With Mike's help, let's bring it up.
I'm gonna close my computer to make it fair and square so that I'm not cheating. Oh God, what am I looking at right now?
Black and white or fuzzy colors?
The fuzzy. Is this a video? Is this just a still image?
It's a fuzzy video.
All right. Goon, preview this one for us. What am I looking at here?
Well, we're trying to figure out if you know kind of when this happened and who Canada was playing. Because Vic Rauter is retiring, I figured it was a good opportunity to hear his voice. I don't know if Mike can do the voice as well.
Do we have video? Do we have audio for this? Okay. Well, This has got to be. I'm gonna guess this is before I was born. So this is like
just tell us who Canada was playing. That's the question.
Is this in the early '90s against Brazil?
This is 94.
Or wait, yellow jerseys. Let's go Venezuela.
Close, Brazil. You had the right context.
I was gonna say, I said Brazil first. I'm like, no, there's no way Canada would have played Brazil. Like they're too good. But okay, I almost had that.
They got a draw in it, 1-1-2.
When was this? 92?
94. May or June 94.
I'm good at trivia. Look at that. Okay, so we'll get. Right. Can I get a half point for that?
We'll give you the continent. So yeah, let's do. You got to push on that. You didn't lose any much.
All right, I got to push.
Next
All right, second one. What do we have here? Okay, we got a still image of snow. This looks like a football.
Do you know what Azteca means?
Azteca?
Canadian soccer context.
No, but are we sure we're talking about the right football here? Because I think this is NFL, American football. By the looks of this image.
Close. So it's a Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. Before the 2022 World Cup, Canada beat Mexico 2-1.
I remember this. Yes, and then like the players are like sliding in the snow at the end.
That's the one. Yep.
Okay. So I got that one wrong.
All right, close enough. And the last one. What does San Pedro Sula means to you in Canadian soccer context?
I need the chat to like play along with this. I'm completely lost. San Pedro Sula.
So
it's not even French. It's not even French. I thought maybe it'd be like a English or French word. This is like seems like a
CONCACAF. We're CONCACAFing you.
Okay, we're CONCACAFing it. What does it mean? It means that Canada, I don't know, won a match.
Close. They lost 8-1 to Honduras. That was the low point of Canada soccer. So. The shirt I'm wearing is from that year, so that's
what year was that?
It was the 2012 qualifying for Brazil. They needed to get a draw and they lost 8-1.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well,
okay.
Now I know.
Now I know homework for next time.
There we go. Now I know. Now I have a Canada soccer history on my mind. I told you I was gonna. You told me we were gonna do a little bit of trivia. I thought we were gonna get player specific. I was like, I'm just gonna answer Dwayne De Rosario for every single guess, but maybe we'll go player specific on the next one. All right. I think I did okay. I'm curious if the chat played along there as well. The whole reason why we wanted to do this, though, is because, like you said, Team Canada on the crest there. World Cup roster is announced tonight. We have a good idea of who it's going to be. So instead of like trying to predict the roster, it's like probably get it right within one or two players. Talk us through what you think, like what your dream starting 11 is for this team, what you would like to see Canada throw out in Game 1 versus Bosnia.
All right. So there's 32 players in camp and 6 are getting cut. It's pretty safe who's going. Personally, I have a choice that they cut Charnier in midfield and keep an extra striker, but it's guys that probably won't play. As far as best 11, we're probably looking at St. Clair in net, a backline of Johnston, Bombito, Cornelius, and Laria. Buchanan, Eustachio, Kone, and Davies in midfield, and David and Larin up top. We're not going to get anything close to that. Davies is unlikely to play or even be on the roster for the first game against Bosnia, recovering from his injury. But Bombito's making strides, so he should be ready to go. The partnership in center back, I would rather have Priso from Vancouver instead of Cornelius because he's been having a really good season, and he can play that physical game a little better without getting in trouble. And the rest of it, we're probably going to see Ali Ahmed, who had a really good season in the championship, fit in that Davies role on the left side.
All right, yeah.
And the goaltending is a toss-up. I would rather have Crepeau in that game than Sinclair.
Okay, okay. So,
all
right, we'll have to get into that as we get closer to the World Cup. World Cup is like first game is I think less than 13
2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks.
13
Canada
days away.
plays in 2 weeks from today.
Yeah, maybe we'll see you at the match there. Alex saying Honduras, Jason. It's the scene of the crime. Is that what that's what that means? The scene of the crime. Okay. All right. I never claimed to be a soccer historian here, a football historian. Okay, we got the Canada 11 locked in. One thing I wanted to ask you before you headed out here, just curious about the U.S. roster, because I know a lot of people are a little up in arms about the U.S. roster.
Really? I didn't hear.
Oh. The fact that Pochettino only took like 4 midfielders for the American audience. Talk us through what you made of the picks for the American roster and if you agree with what they did.
I think he's going to have to go for customs on the way to Italy after the World Cup, so that's why he's keeping it light. But I would have preferred to see the two guys from ARSL, Gozo and Luna, or at least one of them on the roster. They have some attacking skill, but the guys they brought along are kind of old in the tooth, and I don't think they will get the opportunity to show their skills in this type of tournament against teams like Turkey, who's going to keep possession, and Australia is going to be a physical team that just runs at them on the counter. And Paraguay, you never know what you're going to get. So it feels like the wrong mixture of players. They have a good coverage of positions, but I don't think they have the right mix, the right chemistry.
Okay, yeah. So
I don't see them going very far in the tournament.
They might be sitting dead because Pochettino said they want to this team should want to compete and win the World Cup, but his choices seem like the opposite of that.
That's why he's leaving right after the tournament, right? He's building a winner.
Where is he going again?
It appears to be AC Milan. They interviewed him just last week.
All right, wow. Never what you want to see for Team USA, who is hosting the World Cup. But anyways, Goon, appreciate you coming on.
One more thing before I go. It's a big game today in Romania, so I'm wearing my Red Dog shirt.
Okay.
They're playing in the playoffs for a conference league. They haven't been in Europe for 9 years, so it's we need thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers
to Romania. All the best for them. Hopefully they can pull out a win for you. Goon, appreciate you joining the show. You can follow Adrian.
I'm out of here.
The red card is crazy. Follow Adrian on Twitter @Drunken Goon. Appreciate you joining the show. Good stuff there. We're running way far behind, and I feel really bad for our next guest. Actually, I don't. I thought it was George. It's not George. It's Kirk. So I don't feel bad about making him wait. Honestly, no, I lied. I do feel bad because he's always on here on time. Not even on time, but always early. Kirk is a good guest. He's a good guest to work with, and I'm excited that I get to continue work with him. He is an NBA fan, WNBA expert. To some, he's the fade god. To Fozen, he is the tail god, right? Because you and Fozen were on the same side. Kirk, how's it going?
Doing well. I'm glad you were nice to me there because I was going to come in hot, but then you were nice. So I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I only get to talk to you now once whenever you're on the show. You're no longer on Circle Back. And for those who don't know, you said that you got another opportunity, but if I could just reveal right now, it's the truth is on Twitter, people were calling you a cuck, and we finally realized that you are in fact a soy boy cuck, and we can't have that on Circle Back anymore. So got banned, got shown the red card as Goon showed us on the way out here. So that's why you're not on the show, but we welcome cucks here on the show. So you're good to go here. Sorry.
Sure. I honestly thought I tuned you out.
Okay.
I could hear you were starting to ramble about nothingness. I tuned you out.
Well, anyways, just I feel like it's a good bit. Appreciate you coming on regardless. We're going to talk NBA, WNBA. I know you're going to be busy tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time. We got our Toronto Tempo playing against is it Chicago?
No, it's not a 1 p.m. game.
I thought it was.
Is it 1 p.m.?
Yeah.
I thought it was early, but not that early.
Tomorrow, 1 p.m. against the Storm.
Nice. Sadly, I'm not going to be in attendance, but that's a very winnable game. We could get above 500.
I love it. Love to see it. All right, let's talk. Before we get into WNBA, let's talk NBA first because listen, we're gonna. It's really not too much to talk about here in the NBA. Obviously, just the Western Conference Finals. About it. We can talk about it. I don't want to say ad nauseum because the series is really good, but it's finally Game 7. We're finally here. We kind of expected it to go here. You expected it to go here. You mentioned on Twitter, Fozen was on the right side. You were against Flup. You ended up winning. Good for you guys. What about let's. I don't want to call this pass posting because you mentioned it before you were before the game happened where you were, but talk us through the handicap and why you liked the Spurs at the -3.5 at that -145-ish price. What about it was it? What about it did you like there? Was it the theory of it maybe being a tight whistle? They were at home. What about the Spurs did you like last game?
Yeah, I've just found the market has overreacted a little bit to every game in this series. We know a lot about these teams. We know they're both really, really elite. I think that, I just thought it was a bit of a market underreaction. I wasn't saying it was a banger or anything. Yeah. I just thought the Spurs were pretty good there.
All right. No, it makes perfect sense. So that takes me to my next question. What do you make of the Game 7 matchup here? OKC at home. Do you pay any attention to the whistle? Or are you trying to like get in the minds of the, I don't want to say get in the mind of the referee, but like sort of figure out how many free throws we might get for each team there? Because it seems very correlated with OKC winning if it's a tight whistle or not.
Not really. I think maybe about that more for the total than I wouldn't really factor that in for the spread. Yeah, I actually think the market is slightly underreacted here. I think the Spurs should not be 3.5 point dogs, if I'm being honest. If I have to take a position here, I think the Spurs are pretty clearly the side.
All right, Spurs, the side, plus 3.5, minus 110, plus 132. As we get closer to the game tomorrow, do you see any market movement? Maybe like, just not your opinion on what you think will happen, just like what you think will happen with the market. Do you think we could see some OKC money late, or if you like the Spurs, just take them now and you're going to be fine?
Yeah, no, I anticipate the market will move to the Spurs. Okay. Look, realistically, you can bet millions of dollars on this right now, like this second. So it's a serious market. I'm not like saying that like this is just like obviously good, but I do think the Spurs are good here.
All right, Spurs are good here. Last thing is Alex Caruso, Western Conference Final MVP, 12-1. Obviously, maybe not a banger right now, but is there a world where he wins or?
No.
Okay, so maybe the shade.
Yeah, look, there's a world, but
you would need like
I don't think so.
You would need almost like SGA to get hurt and then like Caruso to have a banger game.
Yeah,
or like
something
along those lines.
If SGA has a massive game, he could win. It's just kind of tough. He's coming off the bench.
Yeah.
J-Dub's back. Like he's gonna play a lot, so maybe I don't know. I haven't spent too much time thinking about that honestly, but I would be quite surprised. He has a game this series with 0 points.
All right. If you had to handicap the opening line or the opening series prices of OKC versus New York and San Antonio versus New York, I know the series starts on Wednesday, so we'll have some time to talk about it next week. But just you gun to your head, what was the number? What would the number need to be on the Spurs, Knicks, and Thunder next round in the NBA championship for you to click on either team?
Honestly, I don't have a price for that off the top of my head. I saw like the openers on FanDuel were like OKC minus.
For game one, minus 225, minus 5.5, minus 118 for OKC. San Antonio, minus 172, minus 3.5, minus 1.
When is the first game?
Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
Yeah, so like, hey, it's pretty conditional here. Like, one, obviously you have another game, so there's a potential for injury. But like, if OKC wins this game, I do think that probably means that J-Dub is like maybe a bit healthier than it seemed like he was yesterday. And that's, now 6 days from now. So yeah, maybe a little bit, like 5.5 seems a little light there. Spurs probably should also be, right around there. These two teams are like very similar quality at this point.
Yeah. So
which is crazy to say.
It really is. They're also FanDuel also seeing like quite a large amount on the spread here at OKC 5.5 minus 118 versus look aheads versus the Knicks to win 10K. So not nothing there. So if you like it, you want to get ahead of it. Of course, these are hypothetical matchups. If the Spurs end up winning, your bet's void. So that's pretty nice. Let's move over and talk WNBA. Before we get into the games for today, if you have any props for us. Derek in the chat.
I have a bunch of bets today.
Okay, let's get to the Derek's question first. What does Kirk think of Smesco plus 450 to win and NBA Coach of the Year, WNBA Coach of the Year? Right now, Carl Smesco is plus 380 on FanDuel. Maybe it's 450 elsewhere if you shop around. Also, the chat is loving. Thinking you're going to spin off and start your own show called Circle Kirk instead of Circle Jerk, which was the original name of Circle Back. This is a craziness in the chat. Anyways, back to Carl Smesco.
That's a great idea. I don't think that doesn't jump out to me as particularly good. Atlanta's been like kind of totally fine. They were expected to be really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't. Doesn't sound particularly good to me.
Maybe some love for Sandy Brundello at plus 650. If our tempo can maybe squeak into the playoffs, that might be something there.
Not impossible.
Oh my gosh! Also, like, what did we talk? Okay, wait, hold on. You were on like 1 or 2 weeks ago. We talked about Shenedy Carter. She's like minus 650 for 6th player of the year.
Yeah. What did we talk about?
I think she was at like minus like 150-ish or something along. I might be.
Yeah, she's like
very
an
obviously.
utter lock unless she starts, and I think it's very unlikely she starts actually. So
Okay, something to keep in mind.
I'm surprised. Why is Carl Smesko the favorite for Coach of the Year? That makes no sense to me. I'm just looking now. I haven't looked that much at these odds.
This is why I love bringing you on the show. We get to have these little thought experiments, talk them out on air together. Chat also shaping what we see in the show. I have you on for only a couple more minutes. Don't want George to wait in the background here. Got 4 games tonight, starting with the Lynx and the Sky. Give us all your props. Fire away on the Lynx and Sky game, or we can move on to the next one.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just go through what I have. So nothing on Link Sky. I was actually going to give something, but the line has moved since the start of the pod, so I'm not going to do that. Okay. So Sparks Mystics. I'm going to just go full game under 165.5. No Kelsey Plum tonight. They really don't have any replacement guards. I think she's like one of the maybe the most important player in the league in terms of total. She drives pace, horrible on defense. They don't really have a replacement for her. She's been like the most efficient player in the league other than Kennedy Carter so far this year. So the market obviously has adjusted, don't get me wrong, but this is a very, very serious move in my opinion for how much she matters to the total. Then I've got 2 props, one in Phoenix Liberty. Do you want me to just keep rattling it off right here?
Keep rattling, yeah.
Alyssa Thomas over 15.5 points, minus 110. This prop is just kind of down from last game because she had a bad game against the same team. It's a bit of a tough matchup, but they've just gone really defensive in their starting lineup, and they're going to need her to score. She's going to play nearly the whole game. It's going to be a close game. The tighter fouling has helped their scoring for sure. They're pretty low on scoring. So I just think this is a bit of an overreaction. She's been scoring a lot this season. And then the last one is Alicia Gray under 20.5 points, minus 130. Alicia Gray's awesome. She's a great player. 20.5 points, minus 130 is just a bit too high for a 164.5 total where they're big favorites and can potentially blow them out and not play garbage time.
All right. Alicia Gray under 20.5 points, minus 130. Sparks Mystics under 165.5, minus 106 on FanDuel. And then finally, like you said, Alyssa Thomas over 15.5, minus 110. All right, Kirk. Appreciate you joining the show. Seems like you get love. You get love from the people. It's now 112 on FanDuel. So probably will come back. The Mystic Sparks total. Anyways, all right, we'll let you go. Don't want to keep George waiting in the background. Thanks for coming on, Kirk. Any final thoughts before you head out? Any final thoughts on the NBA? Anything you want to get off your chest? Do you care about the foul stuff? Is it overblown? Or
No, you're good. Get George on.
All
Later,
right.
guys.
All right, sounds good. Follow Kirk on Twitter at Kirk Evans 0. Shout out Kirk. In and out, like a burger. Shout out Kirk. All right, let's get into our 4th and final guess of the show. Before we do that, though, if you're toggling around between sportsbooks, multiple tabs, trying to find out the best number to give out or to get on that total, the Mystics total there, Mystics and Sparks total, you're wasting your time. You're giving up your edge. Because if you have BetStamp Pro open, you would have the real-time odds from over 200 sportsbooks fast and ready to go. They have regulated offshore PPHs, exchanges, and prediction markets all on the same screen, all with sub-second latency. But the real advantage is not just seeing all the books, but it's BetStamp's true line, a proprietary algorithm that aggregates the sharpest books to calculate what the real number should be. You're not just seeing the odds, you're seeing where the edge actually is. Sort by EV, filter by hold, and identify off-market lines the second that they appear. This is the same tool professional bettors use to scale their profits. Head over to betstamp.com/hammer and get a free 14-day trial to see their full main market screen for yourself. Link is in the description down below, or scan the QR code on screen. All right. Let's get into the last part of the show. He is the inaugural winner of the Hammer Fantasy League. A football sicko. He's doing tier lists. Not just QB, not just running back, wide receiver, coaches. No, he's doing offensive lineman tier lists. That's insane. But we know football is king, and we know that you love football, so we're going to bring him on here. GStack George, how's it going?
Jason, my friend, thank you for having me on. You know what? In an act of humility and being humble, June, people start drafting their fantasy rosters again. We can retire the inaugural fantasy champ introduction.
All right, we'll do that.
When I win again this year, we're gonna ride that two-time fantasy champ.
We can retire it, but can we say the reigning, defending, undisputed Hammer Fantasy League champion?
If you want to be the Paul Heyman to my Brock Lesnar, I'm game.
All right, I could definitely do that. I will never deny your ability in fantasy, even though you do play with a bunch of
Hold on.
weaker competition, we'll call it.
You said I pick on my friends, and then I came and I schooled everybody in the hand.
You got a little lucky. It's all right.
Well,
We squeaked into the playoffs.
No.
Yes.
I told you I drafted a playoff roster. I don't care about regular season if there's no prize money for regular season.
That's fair. But you're very close to missing the playoffs, and I think
you know what?
That's on me.
You know what actually got me in? I needed the last game. It came down to Alex and I, and he needed like 9 fantasy points from Jalen Hurts, and it was the Jalen Hurts Chargers game where he threw like 3 or 4 INTs and did nothing. It was quite awkward how I got in, but we got in and we won.
Yeah, that's what it takes to win. You don't need to be good. You just got to be lucky. Anyways, let's get into the UFL here. Chat wants you to power rank the UFL teams heading into the playoffs. I think it's better if we just sort of talk about where the playoffs stand right now.
Yeah, it'll kind of sort it. There's 3 teams are statistically eliminated, so it's literally a 5-team race.
Yep.
Right now, Orlando is the 1 seed, and they either get in with a St. Louis loss as the 1 seed, or if they just beat DC. But if they lose and St. Louis wins, and so for context, St. Louis is like a 5.5 point favorite this week, and Orlando's like a 1.5 point favorite. Then St. Louis would become the 1 seed because they've beaten the Orlando Storm. In fact, St. Louis has beaten everybody that is going to be in the playoffs. So it's they have a lot of tiebreakers. In fact, St. Louis is the favorite, even though they're 2 seed right now. They are the favorite plus 200 to win the UFL championship. I think they are the deserved best team. I've come around on Orlando that they are probably they're still very statistically lucky. And what I mean by that, Jason, is they give up a ton of yards and yards per play, but they're giving up the fewest amount of points. They have the best red zone / turnover luck in the league. And you remember the Chicago Bears or the Steelers, how they always ride high variance turnovers, and then it's not actually a really good defense. Louisville's getting hot at the right time. So here's the scenarios. 5 teams left playing. 3 of them have locked playoff spots. Birmingham and Louisville are the last 2. Birmingham has to win this week. They're a 1.5 point favorite, so kind of like a coin flip game. And then Louisville has to lose as like a 2.5 point favorite. So better than a coin flip, but that's kind of what's up for stakes in the final week. And you know what's interesting about UFL? In the NFL, you know how there's correlated outcomes of if this team wins, this team has nothing left to play for. So the UFL doesn't play all at the same time. They play across, but there is no lack of motivation because a lot of these guys are just playing for jobs, right?
Yeah.
Either last NFL look or frankly to stay in the UFL and get paid. So there is no taking week 18 off for granted because they know they have a contract next year. So that's kind of what makes the UFL fun. There is no the final week shenanigans where nobody cares about the game.
Yeah, adds a little bit there. Even if the team itself has nothing to play for, the players obviously want to play for individual jobs. What's the scenario for Birmingham to win? It's Birmingham to beat Houston.
Yeah, if Birmingham beats Houston and they play first, so we'll know at least if the first half of the leg is in. And then if Louisville loses to Columbus, which is very possible, Columbus is still playing hard.
Yep.
And Birmingham would become the 4 seed, and then they'd play Orlando or St. Louis.
Okay, yeah, because if DC loses though, they have the tiebreaker versus Birmingham. They need Louisville to lose.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No. DC doesn't need anything. DC's locked in.
Okay. Yeah. So I meant so Birmingham doesn't matter what happens with DC because they're also at 5-4.
Yes, but here's the thing: if DC and Louisville both win,
Yeah.
Louisville will get the tiebreaker because they beat DC twice. Remember,
Okay.
they won both games as big dogs,
Yeah.
Including the game Jordan Tiamu got hurt. So they're DC's kind of stuck in that 3 or 4 seed. St. Louis has the most room. They can go from 1 to 3 seed. They have the most room to go up and down.
All right. Anything you like in terms of futures for this week? Like you mentioned, St. Louis is that favorite right now. Favorite plus 200. Orlando Storm plus 210. DC plus 380. Louisville plus 420. Then obviously Birmingham 17-1 here. Anything you like in terms of future odds?
No, nothing standing out at this price. I mean, Birmingham last week probably should have won last week's game. Like they gave up a touchdown in the final 2 minutes with a 2-point conversion, and then they got pick sixth. So it was kind of like they lost the game. They didn't play great, so they kind of put themselves in this bad boat because if they won that game, then they would basically control their own destiny. They don't control their own destiny. I just like St. Louis. I think St. Louis is going to have a home game. In front of the best home field advantage, and then that means that they're in the championship game. But I'm not betting anything at this price.
All right. Anything in terms of prices you like for the games this week?
Yes. Let's talk Dallas St. Louis. First game, it's tonight. Line open 3.5, Jason. And I wish I was on yesterday because it was still at 4.5. I liked it then. It's now up to 5.5. There's some 6s in market. Dallas generates the least amount of pressure, and like St. Louis is one of the best at avoiding sacks. So Luis Perez is going to have a lot of time in the pocket. His passing total is like 207.5, and you can actually bet at FanDuel player props. I won't give it out, but I kind of like that look. St. Louis defense is also suffocating, and Dallas is going to be without their top 2 running backs. So when you become a one-sided offense against St. Louis, I think that kind of bodes bad. I actually make this line 6.5. I don't think it's high enough yet. St. Louis 5.5 minus 105 is the best price in the market. There are 6s out there. I think this is going to close 6, and I still make it 6.5. I actually like St. Louis minus 5.5 minus 105.
St. Louis minus 5.5 minus 105 for the game tonight. A little bit of Friday night football action. Dallas at St. Louis. Houston, Birmingham on Saturday, and then we have the 2 games on Sunday. Anything you like in those games?
So this is like a great example of like the markets have no clue on UFL. So the line opened 3.5. It was 3 yesterday, and then like today in markets like 1.5, 2.5 out there. Like it goes through the 3 like without problem. These are 2 really bad defenses. Houston gives up the second most points per game. They're bottom half in yards per play, and their real problem is but they've been so unsorted offensively. They had injuries to the quarterback. Remember, they were starting Talia Tagovailoa. He's not in the league anymore on a roster. That being said, I actually think the line has gone too far. I like now. I made it 2.5 Birmingham. So at the 3s and the 3.5s, I was interested. It's just marginal, but I still like Birmingham minus 1.5, minus 110. There are 2.5s out there. This is the best Birmingham price in market at FanDuel.
All right, Birmingham minus 1.5, minus 110. FanDuel often having some of the best prices in market here on these UFL games. Orlando Storm, DC Defenders, Louisville Kings, Columbus Aviators. Last 2 games of the UFL regular season on Sunday.
Yes.
Listen,
they played last week, Orlando and DC, and like Orlando kind of handled their business, but DC still sorting like who their quarterback's going to be without Tiamu. Spencer Sanders didn't look good, and maybe they have to let Jason Bean have a shot. I don't like not knowing who your quarterback is heading into the playoffs. Orlando's like the second most efficient offense on a per play basis, so they're a good offense, and frankly, they're going to have the MVP of the league. Jack Plummer's going to win the MVP of the league. That being said, defensively, like second worst defense in yards per play, but giving up the fewest points in the league. Nothing about this correlates for me. So I still think they're a paper tiger come playoff time, but I can't touch this game. Even though I make DC like a minus 0.5, I have no confidence in that number because I still don't know what their quarterback is. So it's a number that I have to generate a number, and probably a lot of early season stats are still lifting this DC team. So I'm kind of in the wilderness on who DC is right now.
All right, DC. Hopefully we can get a little bit more information on them before we head into the playoffs here for this DC Defenders team. Kings, Aviators, last game on Sunday. Kings minus 2.5 favorites here. Where are you lying on this one?
So the line kind of opened 2.5, and it's kind of been stuck there. There was one place that was given a soft Louisville line, and they've also kind of gotten in line with the market. Despite their records, I think these teams are actually closer together in level. Columbus is like such a rare anomaly. They're the top 3 defensively on a per play basis. Don't give up a ton of yards, Jason, but give up the 3rd most points. And a lot of it is like bad turnovers, putting themselves in bad spots. They've had field goals blocked, returned for touchdowns. Kind of a weird team. And I think Ted Ginn has done a poor job as the head coach there. They went to the backup quarterback last week, finally, just to give him a look. I thought he looked pretty good. There's nothing for me here, but if it gets to 3 on game day, I might play back on Columbus, but nothing right now at this number.
All right, nothing at this number. So just St. Louis -5.5, -105 Birmingham, -1.5, -110. Maybe playing on Columbus, depending on the number. George?
Yes.
That's it for the UFL. Appreciate you coming on. Any final thoughts before you head out on the NFL? What's going on with Kyler, JJ McCarthy? Is it really a QB battle? The odds markets are saying definitely not on FanDuel. It's like -1,000, I think, for Kyler Murray to be the week 1 starter. Josh Jacobs seems like he might not be playing this year, or if he is, he's probably suspended 6 games, depending on the NFL's internal investigation, which they will run themselves and make a determination regardless of what happens in the courtroom. Talk us through any NFL news recently.
All right. I'm very concerned about Green Bay's offense. We did an offensive line tier ranking videos, and we had them as the 2nd worst offensive line in football. It's like Zach Tom, a right tackle, and a lot of bad players after that. I also think they don't have a running game, and I don't know who their running back's going to be if they have to trade for one. Their receiving core still seems unsorted. Tucker Kraft, I hope he can return at 100% because he's a fantastic tight end. But they have a lot of work on themselves. But I actually have some thoughts on the Vikings battle because there was some video analyzing how they're throwing and like Kyler having to put his leg into the throw and JJ McCarthy a bit more natural this year. But you know what the most telling thing was? They asked them both about the dynamic between the two of them. And JJ McCarthy was like, yeah, we sit on opposite sides of the room and it's up to the coach to decide who's going to be the starter. And then Kyler Murray was more like, I love working with the guy and here to help him. I don't consider myself a vet, but I'm in year 7 of my career. And I guess I'm considered a vet. And I just thought the maturity in both their answers clearly showed that Kyler's got a way better understanding of what leadership is and what football is. And Kyler Murray's going to clearly be the starter week 1, and JJ McCarthy still has some growing up to do. Now, he was young when he was drafted, but man, I thought he had a poor answer this week.
Yeah. I don't feel bad for JJ McCarthy, but this might be better for him long term. I think this is a situation where both players might benefit long term. McCarthy gets to incubate a little bit longer, improve his game, and also learn how to be a leader from Kyler Murray, who seems to have that down pat. And Kyler Murray gets a chance at reviving his career.
It's weird, the Geno Smith and the Sam Darnold thing kind of showed that if you have pedigree, you'll stick around long enough, and someone will eventually give you a chance. You know who I actually liked their answer. I'm a nerd about this kind of stuff, but they actually asked Anthony Richardson about his thoughts, and he asked to be traded, and all his answers have been nothing but maturity. And I don't know what's going on with Indy. I believe Jim Irsay made them take Anthony Richardson, and I don't think Chris Ballard or Shane Steichen particularly wanted him, and they treat him like the stepchild of the quarterback room. But I really hope he gets one more opportunity. I don't know if he's going to be any good because he's not an accurate quarterback. But I've actually liked his maturity in his answers, and I root for people with good attitudes.
Yeah, hope he does turn out in the NFL. If not, George, I know you'll be a sicko, and 5 years from now you'll be watching him in the UFL.
Oh yeah, you already know. Wherever he lands in the UFL,
you're circling that team.
Power ranked team next year. Hopefully not next year.
Yeah,
I hope he has a shot, but 2 years from now, we'll be talking about him in the UFL dominating.
All right, George, appreciate you joining the show. You can follow George on Twitter at George Silfides. Go check out the offensive lineman video if you haven't already, because if you do best ball drafts, this is stuff you should be considering when looking at running backs, when drafting quarterbacks, drafting just in particular offenses you like, you should be considering this stuff. I think
there was some stuff in there that shocked me because we weren't ranking individual alignment. We were ranking the units.
Yes.
And I was actually surprised how good the Saints unit and the Panthers unit is this year.
It's shocking. It's shocking. It's a good thought exercise to do early on in the offseason as well. And like I said, if you're betting any early stuff here or doing any best ball drafts or even fantasy, like if you want to target guys in dynasty leagues, this is like important stuff heading into the year is how you get an edge on the competition. George, appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon.
Thank you, my friend. Take care.
Great stuff there from George to close out the weekend. As always, appreciate you guys for tuning in. I saw in the chat earlier people asking about the stuff that Isaac gave out. You can watch the stuff yesterday to see what he gave out yesterday. But today he did add Kwame, first set winner, plus 245. This is officially going on the record. Then Zachary Svajda against Francisco Sorondolo. We're taking set one winner for Zachary Svajda at plus 340. It's third time I've said it. If you haven't gotten it now, I don't know what to tell you guys. Rewind and listen. I see you guys ask in the chat. I'm always going to remind you, and if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. We'll always cover that stuff. But yeah, make sure you get those in if you want to tail Isaac on these. And it's the way things are going is I'm gonna be ordering Uber Eats. I'm tipping 50%. I'm gonna be in a Butler costume, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. And a quick reminder, of course, if Kwame does win, and you have a bet at around like the plus 260 range, which we talked about on yesterday's show, Kwame does win, message Isaac, and he'll give you a little bit of a reimbursement as an apology for setting such an awful opening line there. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Do us a favor before you head out. Smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. The new channel as well. Hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends about the show if you want to be betting on the World Cup. We've got tons of World Cup stuff happening next week and the week after, ramping up towards the World Cup. So if you have friends who are betting on the World Cup and they want a little bit more information, helps us out if you share our content. So go share it with them. Be like, hey, if you guys want to bet on the World Cup, make sure you go check this out. Also check out our Discord as well. Crazy stuff going on. Getting into arguments in the Discord. I got to chill out a bit. Yeah, some people don't like my takes, but I'm happy to back them up. Going back and forth. It's good stuff there. Good content. You're going to want to check it out. We also talk a little bit of NBA. Shout out to Omari and Brampton, who's been tailing Kirk the entire NBA playoffs. Finally, if you're listening on audio forms, rate and review 5 stars. That's it. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to Adrian. Shout out to Kirk. Shout out to George. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to you guys for tuning in throughout the entire show. That's it. That wraps up today's show. It's been the Friday, May 29th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. We will see you guys right here next week.